Alright, hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video for MonsterHunterWilds. I'm VinusSGN. Alright, so if you're farming the Guardian Ebony Odegarn and you're trying to get the Guardian Ebony gem to drop and it's just not dropping, don't worry, it's not an RNG thing. Well, it is kinda, but the RNG is really on the player's side with this one. No, there's a very specific thing that you have to do when fighting the Odegarn. Now, I farmed it like 5 or 6 times just to be on the safe side, and out of those times, I only once didn't get the gem to drop. Alright, so what you have to do is chop off the thing's tail. And 9 times out of 10, when you go to collect, you'll get the gem. There was one time where I chopped off the tail early and collected the actual tail from the tail, but later when the monster was defeated, I got the gem from the main carcass. Now, how do you chop off the thing's tail? Essentially, all you have to do is keep attacking the tail and open up a wound and continue to attack it. Now, if you're just like me and you're just starting this thing for the first time and you have to chop off this thing's tail and the thing's moving around, running around all aggressive, rampaging, it can be difficult, but it can be done. Now, here's some tips that I found useful while farming the gem for this video, and trust me, I did it like 9 times just to be on the safe side to make this video, so nobody in the comments can be like, bro, your information is wrong. So, I use something sharp. I use a longsword. Now, I don't know if this part actually helps, but I make sure I keep my sharpness meter as high as I can get it at all times, no matter if it actually needs it or not. So my sharpness meter can only get to green right now for some reason, so I make sure that whenever the thing rampages off and goes to another area, I'm always sharpening it, even if the thing does not need to be sharpened, it still works. I want that sharpness meter at green at all times. Next, I always try at least once to mount the monster and then crawl down to its tail once I'm on top of it and attack the tail. Like, I make that a priority on the first encounter. If I don't I won't even start fighting the monster. Like, I hit it maybe once or twice, but then I have to try to get on the thing's back to try to open up that wound on the tail. Also, this really helps a lot. Bring a shock trap with you so you can easily attack the tail in the beginning, because this monster does jump around a lot, and every time you try to attack the tail, it will turn around on you. So if you can shock trap it and make it stand still, it's really good to attack the tail that way. Now, in the beginning, I had to learn this the hard way because I was like stressing out. Don't focus too heavily on the tail in the beginning because it's way too aggressive, man. Instead, weaken it a bit by opening up a random wound and then knocking it down, and then focus on the tail. But from there on out, you really can't focus anywhere else but the tail until it breaks, because you might accidentally kill it. I did it a few times and it's so annoying. Now, whenever you do open a wound, random wound, doesn't matter which wound it is, use the focus mode set to toggle and aim your red meter attacks at the tail. And the best tip of all, don't go on this hunt with your settings allowing other real players to join unless they're people that you know and you can tell to focus on the tail. Otherwise, these other people are just going to kill it outright. Instead, if you are playing solo and you just need to get the gem by yourself like I was doing for most of this video, make sure your multiplayer settings are set to support hunters only. And I lowered mine from 4 to 3 so it doesn't die as fast. Now, once I did it solo with no support hunters, but it took a lot longer and I died like 1 time. However, I did get the gem in the end because I was the only one focusing on the tail. Alright, now there are some other small things that you can do as well as early into the game as we are at this point, like setting some decorations on your weapons and armor. On my weapon, I have Crit Element 2 and Razor Sharp Jewel 2. Razor Sharp prevents your weapon from losing sharpness, and Crit Element increases elemental damage. Now, it's worth noting here that the Guardian Ebony Odegarn is weak to water, so maybe use a water element weapon, but it isn't necessary because I used it 1 time and then I started using my main weapon and I just didn't really see like a huge difference. Now, on my helm, I have the Destroyer Jewel 2, and it gives you Part Breaker, which makes it easier to break large monster parts. Now, this is where I did see a huge difference. Alright, so that's going to be it for the tips that I have. If you have anything to add that's helpful, let us all know in the comments. We're all learning here. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them. And if this video was helpful to you, please drop a like and a sub to the channel. Thanks. My name is VinusSGN. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.